Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be doing this with you.
Same. I think you're the best person I could have been paired up with.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I start blushing, let's just get into this. Are you ready?
I mean, shoot, let's go.
When did you realize your loved one was in a toxic relationship? Share any specific signs you observed from your loved one's partner or your loved one that made you think they are in a toxic relationship.
Okay, so I think there wasn't any specific thing or instant. I don't think I ever thought that this is a toxic relationship. To start with, I didn't like this person from the get-go. I did not like them at all. So I was really, side-eye, trying to be like, if this person likes them, maybe there's a reason. Let me try to be accommodating. But they always, a feeling of discomfort. I was always very uncomfortable with them. But I felt like there were things they do and I'd be like, this doesn't sit right with me, but I don't know whether it's because I don't like them to start with or if truly it's a problem. But I think one thing that used to sort of stand out to me is that I felt like any affection they'd give to my loved one, I felt was so performative. I thought they'd like play it up whenever other people were around, so that so that like the relationship looks a certain way, or so that they look a certain way. But I was like, it just felt so forced and so fake to me. So that always made me side eye them, and I think that's the one thing that made me very. It just stuck out to me. I mean, there were other things, but that really stuck out to me because I was like, this just looks so forced and fake from their part. Yeah. And you?
I mean, I think it was the same for me. But the situation was different in the sense that my loved one, I'd known them for a while before I learned about like this dynamic that they had with this person. And initially it didn't seem toxic, just in the sense that there were no symptoms,
Yeah.
It became a lot more evident later on, like after a couple of years. Then it's like, oh.
I feel like sometimes it like creeps up.
Yeah, because something will happen and you're like, it's kind of creepy, but okay, life, okay.
Maybe they're having a bad day.
And then it gets to the point where you can't ignore it, where it's just like, oh my god, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. So yeah, I wouldn't say there was a particular point, but I think over the years it became clear that this thing was a lot worse than
How long had
I'd imagined.
To know each other or had a relationship?
20 plus years.
Whoosh.
Yeah. So then, crazy times. Crazy times.
Next question. Did this relationship affect your relationship with your loved one, and how?
Yes. I think it became evident how important it was for my loved one to have support outside of that relationship. Yeah. So definitely, like that person became a huge priority in my life. Yeah.
I mean, that's important. At least your loved one knew they had someone in their corner.
Yeah.
I think for me, I withdrew a bit initially, but then I feel like at that time I was angry a lot, not at my loved one, but like at this other person, this toxic person, and at the situation, it was just a lot. And I was like, because I don't want to lash out at my person, I withdrew. But like if they needed to talk, if they needed anything, I'd like, center myself and try to come into the conversation with as much objectivity as possible. But I withdrew quite a lot. But I guess we got over it eventually.
How did being a witness to this relationship affect your well-being?
I mean, I guess I've already said I was angry a lot and withdrawn. And then to some extent, I felt like I was alone in this, because when we'd interact in a larger group setting, it would be like, am I the only one who has a problem with this person? Like,
are you crazy?
Like, why are people okay? How are you people laughing? Am I the problem? Why are you guys so chill with this person? Then I'd be like, okay, but if my loved one is with this person, there must be a reason, there must be something, so it's like you feel so alone, and at kind of like, am I crazy? Am I the problem? Am I a bad person? Am I not giving this person a chance? Like, at some point I was like, okay, maybe it's because I'm introverted. Maybe if I take some time alone and then come interact with this person, when I'm rested up, and like it will be better. But every time, no matter what I tried, whether it's in a group setting, alone, I'd be like, no, there's something wrong. But no one else seems to be seeing it. So I felt like, who can I talk to about this? Because the normal people I'd reach out to seems to be fine with it. But I had someone I could turn to who was more removed from the situation than me. So that I used to talk to them a lot and be like, listen, this and this has happened. Am I the problem? Is everything okay? And then sometimes give me new things to try out, to be like, okay, maybe if you hang out in a group situation, it might be better, your interactions with this person might be better, or maybe if you try doing a different activity. But yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
Sounds like I think it's starting to hit me now. I think it's made me a lot more introspective about dynamics between people, and really think about my own dynamics with people, and think about what I don't want, I think also it's made me a lot more empathetic towards people, because I think for hurt people, it's really true. And
yeah,
sometimes you're at a point where there's no coming back. You're just out here really, really causing messes because someone messed you up. And so I think it's made me a lot more introspective about human beings, about dynamics, and about what I want from my relationships.
But like with the hurt people, till when?
Exactly. You see,
you can't forever sit down and say, like, oh, my dad left my mom when I was a kid, and that's always your turning point, when that's why I'm a shitty boyfriend. Am I allowed to curse? Yeah, you can't be like, my parents divorced, so that's why I'm like this, or my mom used to beat me when I was a kid, so that's why I also beat my partner. Like, till when?
Exactly. And so that's why it's made me also think about, even for myself, like, what do I want? And also being cautious about who I let into my space, because who knows what kind of influence they could have on you and how you interact with other people, you know. And like you said, yeah, like to what end? You know, because you could end up, yes, that happened to you, but then you could end up really, really affecting other people and damaging other people who had nothing to do
And
with
the
whatever is
cycle has
happening in
to
your
end
life. Yeah.
Did witnessing this relationship change your view on relationships in any way, and how?
Yes. It made me appreciate my relationships a lot more because people are out here suffering.
That's true.
People are out here alone, not having support, not having, it's interesting because it's the people who are supposed to be the closest to you who are causing all of this damage. So it made me really, really appreciate the relationships that I have, and try not to take them for granted because life is hard. Life is really hard.
I think I stopped believing in this thing that people say for also and so a couple goals, relationship goals.
Yeah.
Because on the outside, yeah, they're relationship goals or whatever, but you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. You don't know how someone is suffering in silence, feeling like they have no one to turn to. So, I think take every relationship. No one is goals, nothing is goals because you don't know the truth, you don't know what's happening behind the scene, behind the curtains.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think I also really started valuing my relationships more, especially the people you can turn to in times of trouble. People who will be there for you no matter what, even if they don't necessarily understand 100% what's going on, who you can talk to and that they'll hear you out. They'll give you advice if you need it. They'll give you a dressing down if you need it. But yeah, just the people you can lean on. I really value those people.
Do you think they were happy and safe in the relationship? Why or why not?
I think at the start, maybe they were happy. As it went on, definitely not. Safety, maybe same. At the start, maybe they felt safe. As it was going on, maybe that sense of security and safety, everything just deteriorated as the relationship was going on. Because, this person who was so loving and caring and nice to you at the start, suddenly just, pulls away, doesn't want to talk to you, is being so mean to you, saying such hurtful things. You can't be happy in such a scenario. And then I guess when you think things are getting worse, they suddenly turn around. They start again with it being nice, being caring. Yeah, you can't be happy in such a situation. For the safety, I don't think I can speak on that because then again, there's only so much I knew.
Yeah.
But I remember an instance where something had happened and my loved one was in emotional distress and was with this person, and like they brushed it off and made it seem like such a small thing and like even laughed. And if I'm opening up to you in a time of emotional distress, like something has triggered me, a bad memory, and it made me feel some type of way, and I open up to you and you belittle me and laugh at me, I don't know how safe I'd be feeling with you. So I just think at the start, yes, towards the end, no.
So my loved one was in a complicated relationship. So it was over a long period of time, and it was quite volatile. So the highs were pretty high and the lows were pretty low. So I think, there were moments where there was happiness and there was a feeling of safety, and then there were moments when that was not there. And I think more than anything else, I think my loved one felt trapped. Like they couldn't leave the situation. In my opinion, I don't know whether those are the words I would use to describe that relationship. I think, funny enough, the toxic person maybe was trapped themselves, so they didn't know how to deal with what they'd gone through, and so then they took it out on my loved one. And because of the dynamics of that relationship, I think, my loved one is the one who ended up feeling kind of trapped. So I think, there were moments where there was a feeling of safety, maybe a feeling of happiness. Then there were also moments where that was just not there. So
I feel like with toxic and abusive relationships, that tends to be the case, which is why people stay, because it's not all bad, and sometimes the highs are so high that even when you're going through a rough patch, you're like,
you're still living off the high.
Yeah, you're like, but we had this really good time together, or they did this really nice thing for me that I've always wanted someone to do for me, no one has ever done for me. And you're like, maybe they'll do it again.
You start blaming yourself.
Yeah, you're like, what have I done wrong? What can I do so that they do this for me again? So instead of leaving or thinking this person is the problem, you start asking yourself, what can I do? You can even start like molding yourself into this person that your partner or your friend or whoever the toxic person is wants you to be, even when it's damaging to you.
And then I think it's even made worse if, let's say, you don't have even healthy relationships to look to. Like, if you've never been exposed to what healthy dynamics look like.
Or anyone to point out to you that, hey, nowadays, you're like this, like this, like this. Because I think something I picked up with my loved one at that time is that they started drinking a lot more. But it's because this person, the toxic person they're in the relationship with, just always wanted to, go out drinking, go out doing what. When my loved one tries to suggest, let's do something different, they get pissed or they don't want to spend time with you. So like, okay, for me to spend time with this person, we need to be doing this thing. Then maybe they tend to be sort of more agreeable or pleasant when they're drinking, or maybe for you, like you're numb to things when you've been drinking a bit, so you don't. So I noticed they'd be drinking a lot more at that time, and I was so concerned. But I'm like, that's the dynamic of your relationship. That's maybe when you feel happiest or safest, or when you can forget that something is amiss.
And I wonder whether alcohol also plays a part, because in my loved one's situation, drinking was very much present. So I don't know, maybe not in all relationships, maybe in some, maybe other people have a different escape. If you were to visualize a healthy relationship, what would you see? What traits do you think about? And what are the signs of a healthy relationship that come to mind? I think honest communication is really, really important. I think respect is important. I think a sense of individuality is also important. And yeah, those are other things that come to mind.
So for healthy relationships, I think it's important to have your values aligned with your partner, because I don't think you can have what you fundamentally believe be polar opposites with your partner. I don't think that can work. For small things, you can differ, but for the things that matter, I don't think love can get you through the big things. Yeah, and for the individuality, I think having different friends is important, just to have different perspectives on things, and so that you have your own people in your corner and they have their own people in their corner, rather than relying on a mixed friend group for their opinions on, let's say, when you're having a bit of trouble in your relationship, because they might not be as honest. Maybe they don't want to change the dynamics of their friend group, or maybe they feel like they don't want to pick sides. So just having your own people in your corner is important, I think. Yeah. Okay, last question. What advice would you give to a good friend in the same position you were?
Maybe talk to the person a lot more, like your loved one. Maybe try not to, because I'm speaking from, I think, actually mostly how I dealt with the situation, especially in the beginning. Maybe being a lot more like gentle with the person, as opposed to them feeling like you're scolding them, and them feeling like you feel like they're not, yeah, or they can't make good decisions. Being able to find the balance between being honest with them and sharing your concerns, but in a way where they feel loved and supported, as opposed to feeling judged
and attacked.
Yes,
because yes. I think what tends to happen is the person in this abusive or toxic relationship, they probably feel unsettled themselves, or they're second guessing themselves a lot. So you coming with judgment and all that can make them isolate themselves more.
Yeah.
When they feel like they have no one to talk to, which just makes the situation worse, I think. So there's a balance between presenting your concerns and just doing it in a way where your friend or your loved one feels that they can talk to you. They can talk to you and they'll know you have them, you've got their back. That even no matter what the thing is, that they can turn to you. I think when someone is in an abusive relationship, it helps to know that they have someone they can talk to. Even if they won't talk to you initially or at the start, just having that knowledge that there's someone I can turn to. I think for me it's the same. Just the balance of how you talk to them and say, I'm concerned about this, without placing blame or making them feel judged. But also giving it time. I think sometimes when you tell someone something, or when you point out something, or when you give someone a piece of advice, they may not act on what you said immediately, or they may not agree with you initially, but at some point maybe something will happen, something different or something similar, and they'll sit down and be like, wait a minute, Nawek told me this, or Sophia has mentioned this before. It's like planting a seed in the back of their mind. It will be there, and one day that seed will grow, and they'll remember.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they have to get to that decision themselves, you know.
Yeah, you can't walk up to someone and be like, yeah, listen, like break up with this person.
You know,
that's the worst.
You also
approach.
can't like badgering them every single time. It can't always be what you're talking about, you know. So being able to, like you said, have that conversation, but also let it go. Just be like, okay, so we've had that conversation. I think also being able to recognize when it's getting unhealthy for you as well, where it's like we can't always be bringing this up, because maybe for you it's also emotionally draining. Like it would also be emotionally hurting you. So again, just kind of trying to figure out that balance where they don't feel like you said, they don't have someone to talk to, but also letting them have their choices and hoping for the best, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
this. Has been great. I've learned a lot, and it's always nice to hear different perspectives and to know that you're not
the only one.
The only one.
It's been fun.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.